All right, so there's a soccer player called Hulk. Have you heard of him? I couldn't believe I actually knew who this guy was.
Who's he play for?
He's a striker. He plays for the Chinese side, Shanghai SIPG. He was married for 12 years to ex-wife Iran Angelo.
Okay.
And then he ended his 12-year relationship with his former lover, whom he had 3 children with, a few months earlier in 2019, right before the whole COVID crap started going on. He announced yesterday that he's having his 4th child with a beautiful woman named Camilla Angelo.
Okay.
That's interesting because Camilla Angelo's got the same last name as Iron Angelo.
Maybe
It's his ex-wife's niece.
Oh. Don't do stupid shit.
Now hold on. Now, right off the bat, you're going, wait a minute. He was married for 12 years to his wife. They had 3 children, and now he's having his 4th child with her niece.
Yeah.
And I'm going, how's that mathematically possible? He's 35.
Yeah.
And the niece is 32.
Yeah, no.
So it's not a 35 hitting a 21-year-old.
No. That's not why I was saying come on. But I mean, listen, that whole thing works from an age group standpoint.
Yeah. The loved up pair married in 2020.
The what?
The niece, the loved up pair.
Loved up pair.
While Hulk was still playing for Chinese side Shanghai. Taking Instagram, the former Porto ace uploaded photos of the couple holding an ultrasound scan photo of the unborn baby while Camila is holding up in the air. Caption, today, with a heart full of gratitude to God, I come to share with you that for the 4th time I'm being blessed with another child.
That's wonderful.
It's and they're very happy. And so it's one of those situations where my heart overflows with so much happiness, she said, and I can only say thank you to God. We are already looking forward to receiving your child, and we love you unconditionally. Come full of healthy, my baby.
See, someone's already calling the hotline because of how upset they are about
Did you get that, producer?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting there going, okay.
What? What? This is super clear.
It is super clear?
Well, okay, I have a couple questions. How did they find each other?
Okay.
So, like, this is one of those ones, if they came together.
They obviously knew each other pretty well because he was married to her aunt. It's aunt, right? Aunt, niece. To her aunt for 12 years. And so he knew her, and they were relatively the same age.
Yep.
They were both within 3 years of each other. So there's lots of pictures of him taken with his wife and the niece at the same time. Assuming, and let's take the high road here.
No, assuming there's no.
Assuming there was nothing going on with his niece while he was married. And the break happened in 2019 early, and a year later he's marrying the niece. It'd be really easy to put 2 and 2 together, so there had to be something going on there.
But even if there wasn't, you just can't do it.
Why not?
It's just not right. I mean, okay, you can do anything. You can do anything. You can do it. Yeah, sure, you can do it. But this is one of those decisions that you have to make, and it is super hard. This is the ultimate decision. This is the I've fallen for this person.
Yep.
But I know not that it's not the immorality. It's the messiness because she's got kids. He's got kids with his ex.
Yep.
Right. So you're creating. This is one of those ones where us being together has such negative implications for the rest of the larger family that it's something we have to think about. And this is the hardest thing you can ever do because it's the easier default is to go, but we're in love.
So let me think about
just think about it. He's got kids with her. So this is not like everybody goes their separate ways.
Yeah.
And I don't know how close she was to her aunt, but if I'm her aunt, his ex-wife, I'm saying to my niece, really? Really?
Yeah, there was nothing in there about her.
Really?
Whether she gave the blessing to him.
I mean, it's
almost incestual.
Well, it's not.
But I know it's not, but it's like, I'm trying to connect the dots. Okay,
there's no incest here.
Niece, and then one of the nieces,
it's not your niece. See, like that.
Because, okay, so.
It was your niece if it was.
So what was the niece to his original kids, cousins, right?
Yes.
So
It's your
the
kid's
niece
cousin.
whom he married, his first 3 kids
That's her
from
cousin.
her aunt are her cousins.
Yes.
So now she has a child who are stepchildren.
Wait. Hang on. Her niece. We're trying to figure. Are you tracking bloodlines?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on.
So what's the relation between her? What's the relation
Well, it
between
depends how
her?
the niece is. Okay, so it's her niece. So it's one of her siblings' kids, right? It's her niece, the ex-wife. It's the ex-wife's niece. This is super bad radio. This
is great radio.
No, okay, so listen. It's the ex-wife's niece.
Uh-huh.
So one of her siblings, brothers or sisters, has a daughter. So there's blood. There's genetics in there.
Uh-huh.
Now, he marries her, which that is not, he's not related to her.
There's no blood. There's no
there's no blood. Where it would get weird, here's where it would get weird. If she married one of her nephews.
She being the ex-wife.
Yeah, if she married one of her nephews from her side of the family. Her brother had a son.
That'd be incestual.
Okay.
But if she married her ex-husband's
You're
nephew,
good.
so what is the relationship?
See, people are pissed about this.
I know, right?
This is some spicy.
No, let's find out
This is spicy. Is it the hotline? It is the hotline. Somebody is pissed off.
So what is the bloodline then?
So the bloodline on the kids, that's where we've got to figure this out, right? This is where we got to figure this out.
So what is the relationship between his first 3 children and the new kid that's coming with the niece of his ex-wife? They're brother and sister, right? But they're
No. That's just stepbrothers and but is there a bloodline? Okay.
do we need a gynecologist or a
No, genealogist. No, we can make this. So she's got blood of the mom.
It's
And
mighty
so there's a
close.
Yep. It's just a little bit. What do you want to know? Those
What's
little
the
kids.
what's the relationship between his first 3 kids and the new one coming?
Well, they're just. I mean,
There's
technically,
no blood. Well, is there blood there?
a little bit, just a little bit.
It's because it was the ex-wife's brother who had the daughter,
right.
who's the niece of the ex-mother,
So there's
and
that
now
same blood in there. There's the same bloodline in there, but they're still stepbrother. I mean, they're still step siblings. Like you couldn't call them half siblings, but they're step siblings with a little bit of Jews connection in there.
this is almost like dating a cousin.
Well, that's what I mean.
But
Well, it's one thing about dating a cousin. It's another thing of having a baby with a cousin.
well, you can't be. You're not. I mean, you can do it like you said. You can do whatever you want. You're not supposed to marry a cousin. Ask Jerry Lee Lewis.
Right, because of the bloodline.
Because of the bloodline, but there is no bloodline in a niece, or there is.
There is. Well, it depends. It depends where it's coming from. So, for example, think about it this way. Let's just use me as an example. My wife has 3 sisters.
Is it? Yeah, go ahead.
So my wife has 3 sisters.
Yeah.
Their kids are my niece and nephews.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have, there's no blood there. If my brother had kids, then they'd also be my nieces and nephews, but those would be blood niece and nephews. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It depends it depends which side of the family it's coming from. But this is
you couldn't hook up with your sister's children, but you could hook up with your ex-wife's
sure.
children.
Yeah.
Mm.
Go for it.
Yeah, because it's almost like dating a sister, right?
Yep.
Kind of.
Sort of. Mm-hmm. This is why we're not doing this.
They need to read Out of the Darkness.
Yeah, no, this is why we're not. The reason you don't do this, I mean, this is always something that I have found really interesting about relationships. And see if you go with me here.
Yeah.
We see it in movies all the time. You fall in love, they fall in love, and they can't be together for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
We just can't do it, right? Yeah. And it's tragic.
Yeah.
It's tragic because they feel, but for some reason, maybe it's a situation like this, maybe they're moving away, maybe something. And let's go with the storyline where they don't end up back together. They can't, and they're forever. And they're heartbroken because that's where their feelings are. So that's one storyline. But then the other storyline is is we're in love. We can't do this. We can't be together for whatever reason.
Yep.
But then it's like, but we can't help it because we're in love, right? So you cave to love.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I can't figure out, or I don't understand, maybe I just don't.
And I wonder how often are you caving to love because you really love that person, or are you caving to love because you know it's not right?
Because
when you're told, when you're told you can't do something, you want it even more.
I'm saying, let's go pure. Let's
go
pure.
Go pure. Go.
Right, because you're really in love with this person. You're really in love with this person, but you know for circumstances it's not right. It's not fair. It's not practical. You're shipping off to live in another country.
Yeah.
You just know it's not right. So that's heart-wrenching. But a lot of times what happens is you know it's not right, but what you say is, but I can't help it because I'm in love.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we're gonna make it work even though it's not right. What's really interesting to me is it's so much easier to do that. It's so much easier to be pulled towards the feelings you have rather than to know that this amazing feeling that you have in this person that's going to be your soulmate, you have to go away. But you have free will. You can do either of them. And to me, it's, I don't know how you tell somebody when they say, I can't help it, I'm in love. You can help it. It may forever change you. But I mean, this is a good example. They may be very much in love. So what you're saying is we're very much in love, but this is going to destroy our family completely. Yep. This is just going to, so what do we do? And listen, I don't know what you're thinking. My instant thing is, well, we can't help it. We're in love. You always say that.
99% of the time.
I can't help it. I'm in love.
Because this is my joy, and this is the person I want to be with, and this may be my soulmate that obviously didn't work with this first one, and maybe this was the one that was always there for me, and so I'm not going to let that go. I don't know. I mean, they're out there. They put it out there, and knowing that people are like, "Whoa, that's kind of weird," but
out there. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, that's gonna have to be a conversation that you'd have to have.
You ask your ex-wife.
I see, and
I've fallen in love with
I want to follow the story because I want to know.
They put it on Reddit?
No. I want to know if it was amicable, first of all, the divorce.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what his relationship was with her niece while they were together, because I'm assuming nothing happened there.
Yeah, but
and it's been at least a year, so we know that
there's attraction there because he knows her.
Well, and her whole family. Well, he's a good-looking guy, and her whole family's smoking hot. And again, there's only a 3-year difference there. I mean, it's not like you're dating.
No, I know.
The first time when you're dating your ex-wife's niece, right up with that, I'm thinking he's 35 and she's 22.
No.
But she's 32
Do you
years
marry
old.
your stepsister? There ain't no blood there.
No. No, I just
Look at the freaking Brady Bunch.
I keep thinking about.
he hooked up with his stepmom. Or was that Partridge Family? No, Greg hooked up with his stepmom, right? Didn't Greg hook up with Florence Henderson?
No,
No, he hooked up with Marcia.
He hooked up with his mom. Florence Henderson and Greg had a thing going on.
Right, so he hooked up with his stepmom. Because he came from.
He did, but not on the show.
No, I know, but I'm.
Everyone was hooking up with Alice.
But let's just use that as an example. I mean, look, come on.
That's hot.
Let's play the Brady Bunch.
That's hot.
Let's play what really happened in the Brady Bunch.
When you play,
think about the way that show started. You come in and you got 3 boys and 3 girls.
Yeah.
And let's assume none of them are gay.
Yeah. Only the father.
Well, the father was gay, right?
Architect, sure.
Okay.
He's always walking around with that big long cylinder thing. We didn't know it was inside there.
Come on. Stop it. But you hook up, you put that family together.
Yeah.
Right? What was the opening song?
There's
a story of a lovely lady.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Who is married with 3
She was lovely, all right.
Yeah, okay. So you're putting them together, and except for Bobby and
Peter.
No, but who's the daughter? Jan,
Cindy.
So Bobby and Cindy, like they're not 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so put them aside. We know that Peter went through puberty because of the whole segment when his voice was cracking.
Yeah, and
Okay, so we know that. Jan, we're not sure, but let's just say she's roughly the same age.
Yeah.
Because they were
all this roughly the same age.
So when Peter's voice was cracking, Jan was making changes too. And then we knew Marcia was smoking hot by the time in the later ones, okay?
Marcia was pretty smoking hot.
She was, oh yeah. Absolutely. So you put them and they're in the same house, and these are raging hormone teenagers, right? The temptation, and now, I was being funny, but now I'm being serious. You put a 14-year-old male and boy and girl step siblings in the same house who, are somewhat attracted to each other just of the nature of their development.
Yep.
The temptation's there. It's going to be there, or it can be there.
We need to remake the Brady's and have Greg and Marcia hook up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it makes...
It does, but I mean, your brother and sister at that point, right?
But
not biological, but your brother and sister.
But you're putting a false... That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you were not by marriage put together...
Yeah.
And you're Greg, and you're out riding in your sports car that you jump in because the door sticks a little bit.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. And you saw Marcia?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? So, that's got nothing to... That's different than this is my sister who I grew up with.
My mom took me out to L.A. when I was 16.
Why?
To visit her sister.
Oh.
My Aunt Ann.
You got relatives in L.A.
My Aunt Ann and Uncle John, yeah. And so we went out there and we did the whole Hollywood thing and stuff like that. And Ann and John, my aunt and uncle, had a daughter named Tracy, who was also 16. Her last name is Wibbles. If you're watching, Tracy Wibbles, how you doing?
Sorry.
I think she works for Westwood One now. As a matter of fact, she's in the radio. And I probably need to hook up with her or call her. And I remember losing my.
Yep.
I was like,
yeah,
wow.
Right.
And I was 16, and I was like, and we hit her off. I mean, hit her off from a standpoint that we're cousins.
Yeah, but it's compatible.
Hey, Tracy, why don't you take Tony and go show him around town, go grab some lunch, blah, 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 blah. Sure. And there was this
chemistry.
It was amazing. And the whole time in the back of my mind, I was like, no. And no one had to tell me. I just knew that being cousins. I mean, I had seen the Jerry Lee Lewis story.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank God Jerry Lee Lewis ended up camping out with his 13-year-old cousin because I knew it was wrong. And I knew she was in the family. So I knew if it was someone in the family, it was off limits, even in Westchester,
But what
Ohio.
was your brain telling? I mean, your part of your brain was telling you that.
My brain was like, push the envelope as far as you go because you're only here for 3 more days.
Oh, please tell. You didn't?
No.
Oh,
no, nothing happened.
Okay, good.
There may have been some touching of the knee or something like that, but there was nothing. It was like, that kind of thing. It was nothing sexual, but there was this.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's natural.
And we talked about, it wasn't like, I'm going to write you every day or anything like that. I was like, okay, hope to see you soon. And man, all I could think about on the plane ride home was my cousin.
Well, you had felt.
I never seen her.
I know.
I had never seen her in 16 years, and so I set my eyes, and she was beautiful. Oh, beautiful. And I mean, it messed me up for a little bit now.
Right. Because I'll bet you felt, did you feel almost as if, like, because you had this great time with her and et cetera, did you feel almost like the breakup of a relationship? A little loss,
bit. Thank God I was an altar boy. I was a good boy.
Yeah.
I thank God she didn't live closer.
Yes.
It was like if she lived in the same town, if she called me the next week, hey, my mom and dad were moving to Westchester, Ohio, I was like, oh.
Listen,
no.
that is, I mean, and again,
I remember it.
That's not abnormal.
Yeah. No, when you live with somebody your entire life, there's no, I mean, I think my sister's attractive looking, but I can't look at her objectively and go, she's smoking hot. My friends would go, your sister, man, she's smoking. I'm like, it's my sister, dude. I can't tell you if she's hot or not. I cannot look at her.
But you could say that she's, you could. Here's what you could say. You could look at your sister and say she's beautiful, right? She's got a great figure. You could say she's smoking hot.
Yeah.
But you don't have a emotional, sexual connection to that smoking hot.
No, and my sister is smoking hot, by the way.
She is or isn't?
She is. She's 6 foot, man. She's.
But
like
you see,
rocket.
that's what I'm saying. So you look at your sister and you say she's smoking hot, but obviously you don't have a connection to. But take anybody who is a step, a half, a cousin, somebody that you did not grow up with, because see, let's say you were step siblings, but you started when you were infants, right?
Yeah.
For all intent and purposes, you don't know anything different.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about how many people right now, and it's scrolling, people writing stuff.
Yeah.
I think how many people here down the south or wherever go to a wedding or a family reunion, and it never fails. And you're like, who is that?
That's your cousin.
That's your cousin. You're like, damn it.
Yes.
Really? And they're like, yeah,
Yes.
that's so-and-so's daughter. And you're like, oh.
And here's the other thing that happens. We can just get a little more subtle on this. This happens all the time. You know it, you find out it's your cousin, or you know it's your cousin. You don't, you're not making a public declaration, damn it, but you are attracted to them. So what you do is you do this in a socially appropriate way, like you do when you're 16. You have conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
You find yourself wanting to spend some time with them, maybe at the party or whatever. And it's a really interesting emotional thing. You are locked in with them. You're locked in. There is your super ego that's saying you can't go there, but there's all this other part saying, but there's nothing wrong with talking with them. And you getting this kind of emotional satisfaction. It's not sexual, but it's walking up to it.
It is. It's recoiling from the fire is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's got to be okay. And the funny thing is her parents and my dad stayed home, were pushing us the entire time.
Yeah, right.
You guys go play. You guys go run off. Go to the mountains. Go dune buggy and go to the ocean. And I was kind of like,
listen,
for like a week.
Listen. I had this with when my dad didn't get remarried, but my dad dated for a long time a woman who had daughters who were roughly within a year my age and my brother's age. And that happened when I was probably 12, 13, 14. Yep. And we were very compatible. We enjoyed each other's company, right? We liked a lot of the same things, and we developed kind of an affinity for one another.
Mm-hmm.
And she and I actually had talked years later. There was, I think at the time we didn't realize what it was, but there was something there. Yep. Now, the good thing is, 20, 30, 40 years later, we have, but there was a something plus. It was like a something there, but we also felt like siblings at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, look, let's just say all this stuff. This stuff happens. You get attracted to your stepbrothers and stepsisters, to your cousins. You have to figure out, how do I negotiate that? Like, again, this is what
and it's probably a lot easier to negotiate up here when you're older.
Of course.
We're adults now. We're in our 30s. We know what's right and wrong, and I'm still hot for you. So, well,
and when you're right.
And that's what it sounds like maybe happened here. Because if it was something where they known each other when they're 13 or 14, again, they're not cousins, but that's interesting.